Fazbear's Pizza.
This is the original.
The story begins in 1982 at Freddy's Pizza Restaurant, a family-friendly place filled with cheerful colors, children laughing, and excited voices echoing through the room. In the middle of the lively atmosphere, a young girl named Charlotte is sitting on the floor. As she sits alone, another young girl approaches and invites her to join their group. Charlotte joins them, but her attention is soon distracted when she notices a man wearing a yellow rabbit costume performing his disturbing routine. She sees him luring a young boy away. Shocked and frightened, Charlotte tries to alert the nearby adults, desperately asking for help. However, everyone around her is too distracted by the celebration to notice her warnings. Realizing no one is listening, Charlotte gathers her courage and decides to save the boy on her own. She quietly slips into a dark alley behind the restaurant. There, she witnesses William striking the boy until he loses consciousness and wiping blood from his hands. Carefully, Charlotte approaches the unconscious child, but William suddenly disappears from sight. She lifts the boy and attempts to escape, but William reappears holding a knife and begins chasing her. Charlotte screams again for help, but the crowd inside remains unaware of the danger. The boy regains consciousness and manages to run back toward his family. As the attention of the people finally turns to Charlotte, the knife plunges into her back. Moments later, the marionette animatronic emerges and gently embraces her lifeless body. Time passes and an investigation is launched. However, William manages to escape justice, claiming that Charlotte wandered into a restricted area and was injured in an accident. With no solid evidence, the case is eventually closed without resolution. In the present day, Vanessa is constantly haunted by nightmares about her father, but she begins to find comfort through her growing friendship with Mike. Mike calls to check on her and asks if they can meet. They spend more time together, and it becomes clear that their relationship is slowly turning into something more than friendship. Abby, Mike's younger sister, teases him about his budding romance before heading off to school. Meanwhile, Jeremiah arrives to repaint the house and warns Mike not to get too close to Vanessa, saying there is something strange and unsettling about her. Mike defends Vanessa, explaining that she helps take care of Abby, who has already faced more hardship in her life than any child should. In robotics class, the teacher warns the students that their project must be completed by Friday or everyone will receive a failing grade. The teacher immediately seems to dislike Abby. He resents the popularity of Abby's family and their connection to the animatronic world, believing that his robotics class represents real robotics. One student, noticing Abby's technical skill, suggests that she try repairing her own animatronic, which sparks Abby's curiosity and interest. That night, Mike gets ready to go out with Vanessa, while Abby is told to behave herself at home. Abby asks if she can visit her favorite animatronics, but Mike refuses and says he will fix them another time. He suggests that Abby try making friends with real people instead. Annoyed, Abby turns on a horror show on television. Mike promises they will talk when he gets back. Mike waits for Vanessa at a restaurant. Vanessa arrives wearing a neat dress and says that tonight is not just a casual hangout. She explains that she has been taking various classes to distract herself from her personal problems. In turn, Mike opens up about his struggle to manage Abby's attachment to the animatronics. Vanessa encourages him to be more open with Abby. Then, Mike offers emotional support to Vanessa, listening as she talks about her trauma and recurring nightmares. When Mike returns home later that night, Abby is gone. She is left behind a note saying that she went to visit her animatronic friends. Mike immediately heads to Freddy's. Abby feels betrayed, believing that Mike lied to her. He finds her sitting on the floor at first, in the middle of the busy play area, and they soon realize that the animatronics have disappeared. Mike tries to comfort Abby and convinces her to let them go, gently suggesting that their spirits have moved on to a more peaceful place. To calm her down, Mike gives her a toy, and Abby discovers a highly realistic interactive doll that she decides to keep. Before leaving the building, Mike notices a strange poster accusing Freddy's of being responsible for murders, leaving Mike deeply unsettled. At the same time, a group of teenagers who call themselves ghost hunters arrive at Freddy's to shoot a fake documentary. Their leader, Lisa, declares that this is the scariest location they will ever visit. Suddenly, Michael appears in front of them. Michael welcomes the group and gives them a tour, showing off different versions of Freddy and the other animatronics. When Lisa hears music coming from another room, she decides to stay behind and investigate. Michael is pleased, knowing everything is going according to plan. As Lisa follows the sound, Alex notices something strange about several of the instruments and accidentally falls into the water below. Lisa discovers a massive gift box standing beside a music box. She turns the music off and cautiously approaches the box. Without warning, the lid opens on its own and a puppet inside leaps out. The noise awakens the other animatronics. Michael laughs, revealing that the chaos was intentional. Alex is suddenly attacked and brutally killed by the animatronics. Another member of the group who is trapped in the water is swarmed by hundreds of small dolls. Lisa becomes possessed by the puppet entity and immediately turns on Michael. Michael escapes the building, smiling with satisfaction as everything unfolds exactly as he planned. The next morning, Abby tries to work on her project for the competition, but her thoughts keep drifting back to the missing animatronics. She attempts to call out to them, but there is no response. Mike notices her struggle and doesn't know how to help Abby move on. Meanwhile, Vanessa tries to follow Mike's advice by keeping herself busy. She attends a fitness class and goes cycling, but no matter where she looks, she keeps seeing disturbing images of her father. Her fear reaches a breaking point when she suddenly pulls a gun on her instructor, mistaking him for her father. Once the class ends, Vanessa confronts her trauma by gathering all of her father's belongings. As she closes a window, memories from her childhood flood her mind. She imagines her younger self telling her that she no longer needs her father. In this vision, she runs and locks herself inside a room while her father desperately searches for her. Vanessa then sees the animatronics activate before her father captures her, claiming that she belongs to him forever. In her nightmare, Vanessa watches herself kill her own father. She jolts awake, gasping for breath. That night, while Abby is asleep, she receives a message from Chica asking for help and providing the address of the real Freddy location. Abby secretly leaves the house and heads there alone. When she enters the old building, the place feels empty and abandoned until Chica emerges from the darkness. Abby is overjoyed to see her animatronic friend again, and they greet each other warmly, talking as they once did.
A few days later, Vanessa goes to Mike's house looking for both Mike and Abby. Inside Abby's room, she finds the interactive doll, and Abby suddenly appears, startling her. Abby explains that the toy guided her back to Chica and the others at the Freddy location. Vanessa tries to warn Mike, but he brushes it off, assuming Abby is only talking about the radio he gave her. Mike then reveals something important. He called the number listed on the mysterious flyer and learned that William is still carrying out attacks. It is a truth Vanessa has been hiding. Mike says he only wants to help both of them, but Vanessa becomes upset, feeling that Mike treats her trauma like a problem that needs fixing. The tension between them grows, creating distance in their relationship. Mike drives Abby to the technology competition, promising that he will come back for her. After dropping her off, he immediately leaves to continue his investigation. Meanwhile, Vanessa visits the Freddy building and speaks to the entity known as Charlotte, the girl who died at the beginning of the story. Charlotte, who now controls the animatronics, reveals that she plans to bring down the barrier that has kept them trapped for so long. Vanessa slowly realizes that Charlotte is using Lisa's body as a vessel, and that she herself may be the next target. At the same time, while Abby participates in the technology competition, her teacher deliberately sabotages her robot project. Hurt and frustrated, Abby leaves and goes to see the animatronics, telling them everything that happened. Chica offers herself as Abby's new project. Before that can happen, however, Abby must help them destroy the barrier that is keeping them confined, which ultimately traps her inside the room. Following Chica's instructions, Abby writes a series of secret codes meant to free the animatronics from their prison. Elsewhere, Charlotte captures Vanessa and forces her to say the code to ensure Abby's safety. Vanessa has no choice but to comply. Abby enters the code, and the supernatural barrier holding the animatronics is finally destroyed. Chica then takes a taxi to the school building where Abby is. At the same time, Mike goes to meet Charlotte's father. The man admits that he always suspected his daughter was murdered and that he has been gathering evidence for years. He mentions a hidden river ride inside Freddy's and that only one remains, located at the original site. Mike calls the school and learns that Abby is not there. As he prepares to leave, Charlotte's father gives Charlotte's music box, which she used to sleep as a child, believing it may be able to calm her spirit. Mike rushes to the old Freddy location and finds broken animatronics scattered everywhere. He immediately begins searching for Abby. At the school, Abby brings Chica as part of the competition. The teacher assumes someone is inside the costume and disqualifies them. When the teacher returns to retrieve his keys, he hears strange noises. Chica appears and drags him into the room. The teacher tries to escape but fails, and Chica kills him. Mike finally arrives at the old Freddy location and finds Vanessa tied up. Vanessa warns Mike that Charlotte is inside. Mike decides to stay and help break Charlotte's control. They split up and head toward the security room. Along the way, Vanessa recounts Charlotte's final days and explains that only her music box can soothe her spirit. Mike tells her that he brought it with him. He falls into the water and nearly gets attacked by animatronics lurking beneath the building. Vanessa also reveals that some of the animatronics are now targeting adults who were present the day Charlotte died and did nothing to help her. She asks Mike to find Abby while she confronts the others. In the end, Abby wins the competition thanks to Chica. At the same time, one of the experimental animatronics suddenly activates and begins roaming freely. Not long after, an animatronic attacks Vanessa's car, causing her to lose control and crash. Panicked but alive, she manages to escape and immediately drives toward her family's house to warn them. Just before the threat reaches its next phase, Charlotte realizes her plan is being disrupted and activates more prototype animatronics to hunt Mike down. Mike manages to shut them down one by one. He calls Vanessa to tell her that all units have been disabled, but then he notices one signal still active. The signal is coming from his own house. Mike rushes home. Charlotte, now fully connected through Chica's body, kidnaps Abby. Vanessa's car suddenly breaks down and cannot continue, but Jeremiah appears and drives her to Mike's house. When they arrive, Vanessa tries to help, but realizes that Charlotte has possessed Abby. Vanessa speaks gently, begging Charlotte to release her control. The tension escalates until Mike arrives and uses Charlotte's music box. The melody forces Charlotte's spirit out of Abby's body, saving them both. However, the danger is not over. The animatronics reactivate and surround them. In the middle of the chaos, someone else appears. Michael Afton, Vanessa's brother, steps forward and reveals that he intends to continue his father's work and take control of the animatronics' power. Suddenly, animatronics from the previous film appear. They are the ones who once helped Mike. Earlier, Mike had traveled to another location to seek help, and now they arrive just in time. Freddy and Chica stand alongside them and join the fight against Michael's forces. One by one, the corrupted animatronic systems are destroyed and shut down. The gentle spirit of Chica appears and tells Mike to protect Abby because all of them will soon disappear forever. Before vanishing, they warn Mike that with their disappearance, something else will be released, even though Mike does not yet understand what they mean. Then Mike takes Abby away from the chaos.
He decides to distance himself from Vanessa, who has hidden so many important truths from him. Vanessa is left alone, vulnerable and emotionally broken. In that moment of weakness, Charlotte's spirit quietly enters her body without anyone realizing it.